Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about astrology and Donald Trump testing positive for the coronavirus COVID-19. When I first found out, saw this, I didn't know if it was a hoax or somebody just made this up. It was some fabrication. But when I looked into it further, it was on Yahoo News. So I figured this is actually true and veracious. I was very surprised by this. And it just shows you, I mean, again, not to be redundant, as I've stated in previous videos, nobody is invincible or impervious to this coronavirus COVID-19. It doesn't matter your physical as far as your physical stature or your stature in life. And it's very important for a person not to be overly arrogant and think that they can't get this. And this is nothing to be derogatory about Donald Trump or anything, but I mean, there's obviously been a number of times that he was not wearing his mask, and the thing about it is people have to make sure they're taking the precautions that are necessary, because this is very real. This is not something, I don't believe this coronavirus COVID-19 is anything distorted as far as numbers go, and I don't think this is just going to magically go away by election day. We're already, the United States in recent time, like over the last week or two, we're averaging like around 40,000 a day, I believe, and maybe even more, 40,000 confirmed cases of this per day. And they could talk about, well, the mortality rate is very low. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is exactly. I know it's very low. It may be around between 1 to 4%, but it's still, we can't take chances when lives can be at stake. But what I want to do is, first of all, I'm going to offer my prayers and condolences to the close friends and family of Donald Trump, and they probably won't even see this video. And some people may not agree for me stating this, but I feel it's something that, I know some people have strong hatred and animosity toward Donald Trump, and I understand that, but at the same time, I do offer this to my, people have contracted the coronavirus in general. This is something I say as far as everybody goes. And I want to talk about some transits in his chart and natal placements that may have been tied into him testing positive for this. Now, the thing is, it's kind of ironic because I'm seeing his transit North Node is conjunct his natal sun in Gemini right now. And the thing about, and he's also going through his nodal return. When people have talked about, well, the transit North Node hitting his sun can be auspicious as far as this election period coming up. That may be true, since the North Node is about our future, our destiny. The sun is how is shining, and is who we are, as far as our basic character and our true self. And the thing about this, though, is that I'm thinking maybe to some degree this might be to his detriment as far as physical health goes, because the sun can be associated with the physical body. Yes, the ascendant is what is generally going to dominate our appearance and potential physical issues and debilitations, but the sun can play a role as well, because the sun can still be associated with the physical body. Sun in Gemini can have issues with the lungs, the respiratory system, and breathing. And this is something when you have the North Node involved in transit, it can be about issues one may have to confront or address. So this is something that is one indicator for me, as far as me seeing it as a transit goes, that could be playing a role in testing positive for COVID-19 coronavirus. He also has transit Neptune right now. It's not far from his 8th house cusp. Now, Neptune in Pisces, transit Neptune in Pisces, I think this is a very strong culprit as far as the coronavirus in general, collectively right now, because Neptune can be associated with diseases, and Pisces can be about ones that can't be eradicated. Now, it appears transit Neptune is not in his 8th house. It's not far from it, though. The 8th house is the house of crisis. It's also the house connected with viruses, and he does have Pisces natally on the cusp of it. So that can be, an issue in some cases of dying from a disease that can't be eradicated or cured, which right now is the coronavirus COVID-19. Likely he won't, because we could just use the common sense factor, and the fact that this morbidity or mortality rate or what have you is exceptionally low. He likely will come out of this okay. The Leo ascendant can have a very strong will. He has thing about this too, though, is what he needs. When I'm looking at his chart, uh, it's interesting as well, is that he's got now, as far as other transits, he's got transit Saturn in Capricorn right now, making a very loose in conjunct to his Leo ascendant. And the Saturn, this could be, when you're talking about inconjuncts in astrology, they are not only about adjustments, but they can also be about health-related matters. So being Saturn in Capricorn, he just needs to be careful about issues like with the bones, the knees, the joints, anything degenerative with the knees, the hamstrings at this time. And having all this Capricorn energy, these transits hitting his fifth house right now, Capricorn is a sign of limitation. Fifth house is our fun, amusement, and enjoyment. So it tells me that right now he's obviously going through a lot of limitations in enjoying his life, and really, for me, I think another thing that I've noticed too is that he not only does he have the transit North Node in Gemini conjunct his natal Sun right now, the transit South Node in Sagittarius is at least making a loose conjunction to his natal Moon in Sagittarius. And when you're talking about the South Node in astrology, it can be about what we're going away from. Now, the sun, the fact that it's the moon in Sagittarius, I know a lot of people believe he's going to win the election coming up, but remember, the moon can be about our home and our family. And the thing about it is, when the transit South Node is hitting one's moon, it does make, in some cases it can manifest in going away from a home, a one that is very globally recognized, the fact that this is in Sagittarius. And thing about thing about this too is his wife had contracted this as well. And keep in mind, transit Neptune is in his seventh house of marriage, of relationships. So it's not surprising, based on the transit he's having, that his wife actually did contract this illness. And now another thing too is that he has transit Mars in Aries, at the very least making a loose conjunction to his natal Saturn in Cancer. And the Mars in Aries can be about, in transit collectively, can manifest in issues and physical related matters that are associated, like with headaches and fever, which can be, I believe, symptoms connected with the coronavirus. And the fact that it's making at least a loose square to his Saturn, this can cause, it might be more difficulty in dealing with this, may require more of a laborious effort than Donald Trump would like. And it's really not much more, really, as far as any transits in this chart that may be tied in with this. The only thing I'm seeing another thing though in his chart is that when I look at his chart in general, he's obviously, I see him being a lot more fixed, obviously, than the typical Sun in Gemini person. And thing about what Donald Trump has to keep in mind, and it's not to be derogatory, just looking at the chart energy, is that having the Leo on the 12th house cusp, that could, in some cases, that could be about arrogance, being oneself undoing. And he has to remember that, if this is not a lesson, I don't know what would be for him, that nobody is impervious or invincible to getting this disease, to getting the coronavirus. And Donald Trump, it's already some speculation that that he's had some health-related issues that he's basically kept hidden and been quiet about, and people have speculated that he may have some kind of that he might have some kind of Parkinson's disease. He does have the sun in Gemini, which can give some susceptibility to that, because Parkinson's, I believe, is connected with the central nervous system in Gemini, is associated with that. The sun, of course, is associated with the physical body. So those are some things to look at. And as far as his chart goes, he also has Pluto in the 12th house. So this is something that might be called, Pluto can be associated with viruses, and that is something that when I look at this, is that this might be causing some kind of more secret sorrows with him than he's willing to actually show. Leo rising generally won't show if something's affecting them outwardly, but sometimes they may basically, figuratively speaking, lick the wounds in solitude and seclusion, and that is what Leo will often do. And as far as Leo rising goes, but anyways, really not much more as far as his chart goes, and any transits that may be tied in to him as far as getting testing positive for the coronavirus and COVID-19. And thing is, again, going back to all those transits in that, in Capricorn, I know that transit Pluto is not one that makes an inconjunct, based on the orbs and transit, but we can't, as far as an inconjunct to his ascendant, but we can't, I don't think we could say, I don't think there's any irrefutable evidence that says that you can't get a vibration in certain aspects, even with higher or with greater orbs than what astrologers would ordinarily use. Now, Pluto, I think, is like 22 degrees Capricorn. Donald Trump has his Leo ascendant at 29 degrees. And the thing about that is, it could be in a very loose inconjunct. I mean, Pluto is about viruses, and the sun, of course, is the physical, the ascendant is the physical body. And when you look at Leo rising, he has it at 29 degrees. I mean, this could be very distorted, near inexorable, indefatigable energy. But when you're talking about Pluto and the virus, and the Pluto could be associated with viruses, it could be taking a toll on him, even though it's a very loose inconjunct to his ascendant. It doesn't mean that it's not affecting him somehow. And the thing about this too is that when you look at also transit Venus is not far from his natal Mars at this time, and Mars can be about physical related issues, and when Venus is closing in on your natal Mars, that could be manifesting ones that could be Venus related, something with like the throat, like a sore throat. There can be muscular aches. The fact that he has Mars in Leo by itself, and especially conjunct the ascendant, can give some issues with the muscles of the heart. Remember, Mars can be about muscles, and the heart, I mean, is associated with Leo. And those are some things that he has to look at in terms of possible health-related matters at this time. Having Aquarius on the 6th house cusp, of course, that can give issues with circulation, with the ankles, the shins, the lower legs. And anyway, then also, another thing I just spotted, that transit Sun had recently, it's not conjunct by transit now, but shortly, not too far ago in the past, that transit Sun in Libra was conjunct his natal Neptune, and the Sun can be about physical related matters. Neptune, of course, can be about diseases. So it's basically, that was kind of like shining the light maybe on a disease that he may have contracted. This is something he might have gotten, maybe it was a few days ago. I don't know the exact or precise date that this actually transpired. But anyway, that's gonna say anything else. I'm gonna just look at his chart for a minute. I'm gonna try to scroll down here and see. I'm gonna look and see his south node. Now his north node is okay. His north node is in Gemini. Again, the south node is Sagittarius. I was going to say something regarding the transit connected with that, but because I'm realizing it's not in the position I thought it was, it's not going to apply anyway. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.